we just saw the prequel to Cars, the Lightning McQueen origin story. Ferrari. Just kidding. There's nothing to do with Lightning McQueen. Sadly. Yes.
We didn't stay for the post-credit scene, so we never know.
We never know. Next time we'll stay for the post-credit scene. We'll keep you guys updated. But yes, we saw Ferrari directed by Michael Mann and starring Adam Driver as Enzo Ferrari, also starring Penelope Cruz as well. So this movie is set in the summer of 1957 with Enzo Ferrari's auto empire in crisis. And so the ex-racer who's turned into an entrepreneur starting the Ferrari company pushes himself and his drivers to the edge as they launch into the Mille Miglia, a treacherous 1,000-mile race across Italy. And yeah, it's such a great scene. But yeah, there's so much to, talk about for this movie. Naeem, what did you think of it?
I enjoyed parts of it, and there were some parts where I was a bit bored in it.
Mm-hmm.
I felt for me that the film did take a while to really kick in.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably largely due to the lack of racing scenes. There wasn't really that many in the, I'd say, first half of the film.
Yeah.
It was really in the second half of the film is where the film started to not get good, but become a bit more interesting and more engageable on my part. But the whole first half of that film is literally setting up for the big race, the thing. The
1,000-mile...
the race across Italy is what I referenced to. What was I saying? Yeah, it was pretty much all built around that and his relationships. Relationships that he has with not only his wife, his mistress, and his family, but also his business and his competitors as well.
Yeah.
It was all built up to that towards that moment. I feel some of the moments was a little bit of a letdown throughout the whole movie where it teased like a big showdown between Ferrari and Maserati. As soon as the film starts, they talked about Maserati beating a record. And then Enzo Ferrari just saying, we're going to beat that, we're going to beat that, we're going to beat that. Throughout the whole film, they just teased pretty much Maserati to be the Ferrari and Ford v Ferrari, the bad guy. And then when the big moments happened, it was just like, oh, really? That's it?
Yeah.
So I sort of would have liked it. Is this based on a true story?
Yes.
No, fully? Or is it just like...
Oh, it's based on a book written by a motorsports journalist, I believe.
Oh,
and so, yeah, it is based on real events. Like what you're seeing, it did actually happen.
Oh, okay, then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine then.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I thought it would have been loosely based on events.
Oh, no, not. This isn't a Taika Waititi movie, all right?
That's true. I thought Adam Driver was great as Enzo Ferrari. I think he captured that personality quite well. The guy that just really wants to get his business on track. He wants Ferrari to be like a powerhouse name.
Yeah.
I sort of saw that. I think Penelope Cruz is probably the best in the film, in my opinion. Just her sort of outcasty type character. That was somewhat of a loose cannon as well. I thought she was fantastic, and her explosive moments were just you couldn't just zone out during those scenes. They were just so engaging as well. Shailene Woodley, is that how you say her first name?
Shailene, yeah.
Yeah.
You make me question it now. I thought I was certain about it.
Yeah, she was okay. I mean, her American accent or something like that did creep in a few times, but she gave it a go. She tried to put on an accent unlike a certain someone who does animated films.
What?
Chris Pratt.
Oh, don't bring him into
But
this.
yeah, I think she was fine. She was barely in the film as well. I think the cinematography was great, largely in the massive racing scene. It's about a 20-30 minute racing scene that is probably my opinion, the best part of the whole movie.
Yeah.
And some of the shots that they do is great, like just a big wide mountain range in a big shot, and then you can just see these tiny little red cars driving around a mountain. That was shot really well. The score really surprised me. I was like Hans Zimmer-like. It was really engaging, but it never overpowered the scene. The composer was Daniel Pemberton, so he's done some great stuff.
With Spider-Verse coming out this year.
Yeah, as well. So that's probably why it was so good. But it was I enjoyed that last half, and there's a scene that's jaw-dropping, and I won't spoil it for anyone, but you'll know it when you see it. But it's very impactful.
Yeah, it's extremely impactful. That scene, yeah, me and Nan were just, mouths open, like, what? That just happened. And the Michael Mann doesn't hold back. So
it's good.
that's all we're gonna say. I'll be really curious to hear people's thoughts on that when the film officially releases. But yeah, no, I'm basically on par with you for pretty much everything that you said in this. Starting with the performances, why can't this just be Italian? Like the accents are just they're so hard to get through sometimes. Like there were a lot of like conversations where I couldn't pick out what they were saying because it's so deep Italian.
Oh, it's because they were making because of the Italian
The accents, yeah, they were like thick and. I mean, Adam Driver was really good from an acting perspective, but when it came to the accent, while good, it's just I don't think it's fitting for the film. Half the time I'm too distracted by the accent, and half the time I'm missing probably important information because the accent. And then I think he's just putting on way too much of an accent. And then you go to Shailene Woodley, where she's trying to be really subtle with the accent and to the point where she's just speaking normally sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah, her accents are barely there. And so I'm like, I just feel like for these kind of movies where in the real life context, they would just be speaking Italian. Just do that. Because one, it's more authentic to what's happening.
Oh, yeah, and then just have subtitles.
Yeah, because Enzo Ferrari is not English. He's Italian. He should be speaking Italian. If you want to capture Enzo Ferrari, that is, and personally, that's what I would want to see. So I thought they should have gone down that route, but it's not going to make any money and stuff like that. So they have to have it in English, I guess. But yeah, it's not House of Gucci level bad in terms of accents and being distracting and to the point where it's kind of funny and memey. It's not like that, but you guys might find it a little bit distracting, especially in that first half an hour where you're trying to just get accustomed to those thick Italian accents coming through. Otherwise, yeah, the story, I'm a bit like you as well in that. I flowed in and out of being quite engaged with this movie. I think, the family dynamics and stuff was when I was most interested. But I mean, there's some other, great moments in that as well. I just don't think it always, I don't think it's always firing on all cylinders. The script per se, don't give me that look. That wasn't even a pun.
Well, that's a good pun.
Yeah, it's a nice subtle pun, but yeah, no, there are just some parts where it's not all connecting together. It felt like different stories that just kind of never feel like they belong in the same movie, if you know what I mean by that. Yeah, so I mean, like, there's definitely some good stuff in there. In terms of the actors and their performance, Adam Driver, yeah, he really does hold his own here. Just having those moments where he says something that's like funny, but Enzo Ferrari is completely dead serious and straight about it, and he just plays it off really well. He always has that kind of stoic and emotionally in control kind of guy. And I think he plays it off really well. But Penelope Cruz is the main star of this. Honestly, should be in that best supporting actress conversation. Man, actresses, like they're dominating the year, man. Like they're having
100%.
Yeah, every review we've coming here is just like this actress was amazing. But no, Penelope Cruz was really really good. So I hope there's some kind of I guess recognition there or just in that conversation a little bit more. Otherwise, yeah, Shailene Woodley, you could have picked someone better. I feel.
Probably.
I don't think Shailene. Okay, I'll put it this way: Shailene Woodley doesn't have the acting chops to go toe to toe with Adam Driver. Penelope Cruz holds her own really, really well against Adam Driver, and to an extent, probably is better than him. But Shailene Woodley, it's just the contrast is just so massive there. Yeah, and then you covered it really, really well in terms of the cinematography. It really comes in full force in the acting. I mean, in the racing scenes. You got those shots where it's like the car's driving toward the camera and it like zooms up to the driver and stuff like that. It's just really well done, and it makes the entire thing more immersive and more engaging. If you are going into this movie thinking that you're getting a racing movie, I would argue against that. I wouldn't classify this as a racing movie. I would classify this as a biopic with racing in it.
Yeah.
Is that how you would distinguish this? Or
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Ford versus Ferrari, for example, which everyone seems to compare this movie to, that's a racing movie. This one is more biopic focused and focusing on the man behind the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the racing scenes are excellently directed, and Michael Mann does a really good job there. Another thing I'll point out as well, the sound design, very, very good. Just capturing, the roar of the Ferrari engine, but not in a way where it sounds like, what a Ferrari is like today, because the cars are shockingly different. But just kind of a more classical touch to that kind of grunt, or whatever you want to, however you want to phrase that. So yeah, I really love the sound design in this movie. I think it is one of the best of the year in that respect. As for score, that really did surprise me as well. A lot of good moments in there, and then now that you mentioned Daniel Pemberton does it, I'm like, oh, okay, well, that makes total sense. Daniel Pemberton's really gonna start becoming one of the best composers around.
Yeah, I think so. His filmography or discography for films is...
How would you... Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's discography.
Isn't that for artists, like music artists?
Yeah, but I think it's still classified because it's still musicians.
Both. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think his film composing history is quite impressive.
Yeah, no, he's already off impressively, and obviously he got the nomination today for Across the Spider-Verse at the Globes. But yeah, this one stands quite tall. It's not Spider-Verse level, obviously, but it's a solid entry in there. I felt like, I don't know if I'd say it's Hans Zimmer-like. I feel like Hans Zimmer's music, it always kind of dominates the scene. It's always kind of larger than life. It feels larger than life, and it's very like overpowering. This one here, I think it just slides nicely, just really adding to it and just kind of elevating the experience of it all. Yeah, otherwise, I know that the reviews for this are mid, maybe not mid, but I think they're around like 70% on Rotten Tomatoes, 70 to 80, somewhere in that area. So
75.
It's not, pardon?
75.
Is it 75? Also just straight bang in the middle. I really like this. It's better than Napoleon for biopics, and it's not better directed, but I liked it more than Maestro.
Yeah. I think it's because it focused on a particular part of his life rather than his whole life, which is what our major complaints were with Napoleon and Maestro, was that it was their whole lives, where this is just one sort of moment.
Yeah, like a big kind of milestone for Enzo Ferrari and obviously the company Ferrari. So yeah, any other thoughts to add on to that?
No.
No. All right, so this movie was heavily in discussion in terms of like what are its Oscars chances, because Michael Mann's done some incredible stuff in the past, and you got Adam Driver, Penelope Cruz backing this up, and obviously it's a biopic with Ferrari in it, and Ford vs Ferrari did really well at the Oscars. I don't know if it's going to stand much of a chance, just because the competition's too dense and its buzz has kind of died down. But do you see any kind of categories where it deserves to get a nomination, not just in that conversation?
Probably supporting actress for Penelope Cruz. That would be one. Maybe cinematography. Sound editing and design isn't part of Oscars anymore, eh?
No, it's just best sound. They've just combined the two.
Oh. Yeah. I can make a case for best sound as well. I think those three is where I could see potential nominations coming from, where I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. And I I'd need all the movies in front of me to really see if it's deserving. But yeah, I would definitely agree with that. There's no other category out there where I'd be like, yep, it deserves that, or it's earned that nomination. But yeah, no, I agree with you. Those three are probably its best chances. But we'll see what happens. Perhaps it can get some buzz a little bit later on. I think this releases in a couple of weeks for the Americans.
Yeah.
And then just after New Year's for the Kiwis and the Aussies and everyone else.
You lucky Americans.
Lucky Americans. Yeah. So score out of 10. You're going first.
I know.
For once.
What do you mean for once, dickhead? I'll go 7.5.
7.5.
Mhm.
I'm going to go 7.5, 75%. See what you did there. I will go 7.7. I love the direction in this movie, especially from the technical side of it. And I got to give some extra points to that scene.
Yeah.
That might be that's probably the most, like, the biggest scene. Maybe not the biggest scene of the year, but it's like
Memorable.
in terms of just being like shocked.
It's like the ending of Oppenheimer, the movie finishes and
Oh,
and
yeah.
you're thinking about the ending scene.
Mm-hmm.
This is what this scene does. Like the movie
Yeah.
finishes and you're just thinking about that scene.
Yeah. I mean, soon we're going to have our Movie Gains Awards, and one of the categories that we do, and it's probably my favorite category that we've done for years now, is most memorable scene.
And I'll be naming them.
Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked. Yeah, you will be naming them. I wouldn't be shocked if this makes it because it's pretty fucking memorable. It's very shocking in a great way. But yeah, we are done here on this review. I have the privilege of seeing The Iron Claw tomorrow morning.
Lucky!
I know, just reviews on top of reviews at the moment. So I hope you guys are enjoying them. But The Iron Claw is one that me and Nathan are both so excited for. Sadly, he can't be a part of it as he has other commitments in his other job. So sadly, he won't be able to attend.
Contemplating resigning just so I could see this movie.
That is fair. And once I tell you my thoughts tomorrow, you'll probably agree with that. But yeah, so I'll be seeing that. The review will be out for that one tomorrow as well. Otherwise, you guys know the drill. Head on over to YouTube, subscribe to us over there, follow us from whatever podcast platform that you're listening from, give us a rating, whatever you think that we deserve. Head on over to Twitter, you can talk to us there, follow us, we can have a conversation if you've seen this movie already, or wait until you've seen it and then let us know when you've seen that moment and we can have a conversation about it. Otherwise, jump on over to moviegames.com. We do box office, we do Oscars, we do everything and anything regarding movies. So yeah, that's it. We'll catch you next time. Ka-chow.
Ka-chow.